Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is December the 9th. There are two NBA Cup games on the board for today, so we'll jump into those. As always, we do a quick recap of yesterday. The show actually did pretty well. I ended up only making one of the bets, and that ended up being the loser. So 0-1 day for myself yesterday. The play that I did make was Stephon Castle over his 5.5 assists. He looked good in the first quarter, hit 3. And then just really struggled. I don't know if, first came back, his legs or whatever the case might have been, but he was just looking more for a shot. He was shooting the ball. It felt like he was trying to get downhill, and they were playing him one-on-one. It was really frustrating because he finished right at 5. So we really just needed one more assist. And then he also wasn't part of the closing lineup either. I guess that was because it was his first game back, but yeah, it was a losing. It was a losing bet. Just trying to give you guys the analysis of why I think it was a loser. Dylan Harper played really good last night as well. One of the reasons why they were able to win the game. So 0-1 day for myself yesterday. Hopefully you guys were able to make some cash. Let's go through the comments real quick. See who's here. Prolific says, "Good morning, Chris. Not feeling these 3-game slates. Want more action?" Steven says, "Good looking out on the Pacers and the Suns pick yesterday. Heat and Knicks money line parlay today. So taking the dogs." What's up? UVA says, yo, crew. Let's find some winners in the cup today. Let's do that stat. What's up, Lowe's? He says, "Good morning, community. Likes to land on the money line. Raptors plus 4.5. Let's have a winning day." Brian says, "Outstanding work yesterday, brothers. Swept the board. Chargers as well. Over 20 plus 2. Let's find it today. You're seeing the board super clear. Let's make some money." Yeah, all besides that player prop that I gave out yesterday. 12 says, "Got to be the Magic, right? We'll talk about it." Jay Carter says, "Make sure I ain't missed the beginning." Let's get it, Chris. Yeah, let's do it, man. Good morning, Saturated. He says, "2-game Blair. How's a guy supposed to make a lotto parlay with only 2 games? You got plenty of players to bet on if you're in the lotto business." Saturated. What's up, Fahrenheit? Hope all is well with you. Good morning, for real. Fahrenheit reminding people to like and comment, subscribe, buy some merch, all that good stuff. Appreciate you, Fahrenheit, as always, man. D Fox did wet the bed last night, H-Town. He absolutely did. Pacers minus 3.5 was a good look yesterday. Can't trust the Kings, but I didn't bet it though. Good morning, Mark. Hope all is well with you. Stephen says he likes the Heat on the money line. We'll jump into these games in just a second. Mark says, "Good morning, Chris. Happy to make a live show. Looking after family these days." Yeah, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Mario says Heat on the money line. "Do you think without Wagner, we lose too many points in Miami? Take it after losing 2. We're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. Absolutely not. Can't trust the Timberwolves land a big number at all. I also can't trust the Spurs land a big number. They're 1-4 against the number when they're laying points now. Frontline says, "Just started following you, gang, and I love how you go about it. Be on point. Continue doing you, King." Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that for sure, man. Let's jump into it for today. Let's get going. So first up, we start with Jackson, AI Sports Betting Tool. Link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. Yesterday, Jackson gave you guys 2 looks. The first one was on De'Aaron Fox. We already heard the recap of that. He did stay under his 23.5 points. He didn't shoot the ball well at all last night. And then Colin Gillespie over his 2.5 threes was a winner. I think it was minus 120, but that was a winning bet yesterday. So we're going back to the player props for today. I asked Jackson for the top 2 player props on the board for today. Jackson likes Bam Adebayo over his rebound prop in this first game, which I think the line I saw earlier was, I think I still got it pulled up. Let's see. No, I don't. Let's see, Bam, because they don't give me a number, so I want to give you guys a number. Bam rebounds is 7.5. I want to say 9.5. So 9.5 boys for Bam. So here's the analysis. It says he's been a dominant. He's set for a dominant night on the glass against an Orlando front court that's severely depleted by injuries. So situational versus defensive matchup. It says the Magic are missing key frontline players like Mo Wagner, Colin Calston. I don't know about him, and Franz Wagner. The absence of these players significantly compromised Orlando's interior defense and critically their rebounding ability. So Adebayo's role, Adebayo is the Heat's primary rebounder and interior presence against a Magic team forced to play a smaller lineup. Adebayo will have a massive advantage in securing both offensive and defensive boards. So the sheer volume of rebound opportunities created by the Magic injury report makes this over for Adebayo's rebound prop a high confidence play. The second player prop, Jalen Brunson, over on his points plus assists. So it says Jalen Brunson is poised for a high volume night against the Toronto Raptors team that's missing the best perimeter defender, and may face a Knicks team missing its second star. So situation versus defensive matchup, the Raptors are without RJ Barrett, who's their best wing defender. This removes the primary player who would be tasked of slowing down Brunson. Then you got the Knicks usage without Karl-Anthony Towns. So he's listed as day-to-day and missed the last game. If Towns is out, Brunson usage rate will be astronomical, forcing him to be the primary scorer and facilitator on pretty much every possession. So conclusion, against a compromised Raptors defense, Brunson will have the green light to attack the paint and create for his teammates, making the over for his points plus assists prop a strong target. So those are the two player props. Jalen Brunson over his points and assists, and Bam Adebayo over his rebound prop. So real quick, if we look at Brunson, his points plus assist line is 34.5. That's a super high number. He has gone over in back-to-back games, though. Against the Magic, a pretty tough defense, and then super soft defense against the Utah Jazz, where he played just 31 minutes. So cup game, big implications. I can understand it. Can definitely understand it. All right, let's jump into the matchup. Links in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Jackson. First one, Miami and Orlando. So we'll start at the top with this one. Just give you guys the consensus line real quick. All right, so looks like Miami is favored by 1. But I also see some picks, right? DraftKings got Orlando favored by 1.5. Like, you could get really whatever it is that you want. Like, it should be, probably close to even on this game as far as money line goes. As far as the total goes, it did open 237.5 and it's down as low as 235. I see some 235.5 out there as well. So what I had in my notes was, first, looking at the opening line, this was Magic minus 5.5. So the Magic were laying 5.5 points, and then the injury happened to Franz, and it moved to 3.5 in that game on, what was that? Whenever they played against the Knicks in their last game, I think that was on Sunday. And moved to 3.5, and then after the game, it went all the way down to 1.5. So you kind of got to ask yourself, like, how much does Franz move? How much does Franz mean to the team? Because that's the injury, right? Also, we got to remember that Jalen Suggs left the game. He was walking on his own power. He's probably going to play, but the Orlando Magic have been super, cautious with Jalen Suggs as well. I don't think, when I looked at it earlier, I don't think he was on the injury report. Let's just double check real quick. So, yeah, Jalen Suggs is not on the injury report. On the Miami side of things, Tyler Herro and Davion Mitchell are both listed as probable, and they have pretty much everybody else that's been a part of their rotation. So no Mo, no Franz, both Wagner brothers out. Looks like Tristan da Silva will probably take this, continue to be in the starting lineup. This time, instead of being for Paolo, who's only playing his third game back, it'll be for Mo. It'll be for Franz, who is going to miss his first game all season. So here's the thing with Miami. They have been a little volatile lately. They are 4-7 straight up on the road, 6-5 against the spread on the road, but you need them to win this game. And like I just said, 4-7 on the road so far. And Orlando Magic have been better if you look at the overall numbers. They're 9-4 straight up at home, but just 5-8 against the number. You really just need them to win the game in this spot. This is the third game so far this season. We saw Orlando. I think Miami won that first game, right? I was looking at it earlier. Orlando won the first game. They just didn't cover. So Miami has covered both spreads, but they have not won either game. And they lost the last one by 105 to 106. So as far as what I think is going to happen here, I really would like to take Miami, thinking that, without Franz, that Miami should be able to get the job done. Miami will be pretty healthy. I do think they have enough offense. It's just been really sputtering lately. In Orlando, they have been better recently. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games. Miami's just 5-5 against the number. One big thing I looked at, and one of the reasons why I couldn't quite get there with the Heat, is their transition defense. So we know the Orlando Magic like to push pace, right? This is the number 1 fastest paced team in the league in Miami and the number 2 fastest paced team in the league in Orlando. However, when you start to look at like how these teams like to play, Miami's a team that likes to get out and push pace. They're 3rd in transition frequency, 23rd in scoring, though. And then Orlando is top 4 in points allowed via transition. So Miami likes to get out and push pace, but Orlando does a really good job of stopping it. On the other side of the coin, though, if you look at the same exact defense, the Orlando Magic, they push pace at the 2nd fastest frequency, and they score the 3rd most points in transition. Miami's 26th in defense against transition. And we know Franz gets a lot of those transition buckets as well. So this is where I landed at. I landed on under. I think under 235.5 is still available. I think that's the best play in the game. All right, and I'll tell you guys why. So when I look at Orlando, without Franz, I think the offense is going to get a little worse when you add Tristan da Silva. It's a lot of transition points. We know Franz gets a lot of his points in transition. Paolo coming back, this only be his 2nd game back, 3rd game back. He could be on a little bit of a minutes restriction, which we saw him play only. Let me just double check it for you guys real quick. Paolo only played, I know he barely got over his points prop in the last game. He played 24 minutes and 20 minutes in his 2 games back so far. So, yeah, 20 and 24 minutes. So Paolo's going to be a little rusty, which I think that could happen. Paolo could be a little rusty. No Franz. I think that they're going to struggle to score the basketball. When I was looking into my advanced numbers, even though both of these teams are 1 and 2 in pace, the Orlando Magic are 28th in offensive efficiency in their last 5 games. Their offense has kind of come back down to earth a little bit. This is another reason why I like it, though. They're 4th in defensive rating over their last 5 games. And we know that the defense typically plays a little bit better at home than it does on the road. At home, they have the 2nd best defensive rating at a 109.6. And then on the Miami side of things, their offense is really, really started to struggle. So on the full season, they are they're 3rd as far as scoring, 122 points per game. Their last 5 games, though, they're down to 9th at 119.8. The defense has been really, really struggling, but I think that they'll play. I think we'll see a really good defensive game. Remember, these 2 teams did just play the other day. I think they ended with 211 points, and the total was like 240, 235. So high 230, low 240, I think was that total. Matter of fact, I got it up. I don't got to guess. That total was 241.5. It finished 30.5 points under the total. And this one opened 6 points lower. I think we see under. I don't really want to play the side. He just don't feel trustworthy right now. I think I would bet under, though. That's what I would bet in this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then we will. If y'all got player prop ideas, just let me know. I can look up the Bam rebound prop and look into. We can wait for some other props in the next game as well. Let's see. What are you guys saying here? Real Talk says, morning community. I know Miami likes to run, but I feel like playoff atmosphere in this game. I'm on the under, so some under love. Brian says, last year the Cubs game went well under, and they stayed adjusted 15 points, I believe, if I'm remembering it correctly. Olivia says, can we really trust Jackson lately? Jackson went 2-0 yesterday, or 2-0 the day before, 1-1 yesterday. So 3-1 over the last 4 plays. I'm not sure what it was before that. We'll talk about this in just a second. Ron says, I like Bam boards, Powell points, and Mitchell assists. If I'm betting on a player prop, I do think Norman Powell is the best player prop to bet on, in my opinion. I don't know. I just feel like the Stars will take a lot of shots. He's listed at 21.5. The 2 games that he's played against him so far this season, he has 28 in both of them. So it hasn't been him that's, struggled. He shot the ball pretty well, 47% in the first game, 50% from the 3-point line, 4 for 8. And then in the second game, he also shot 50% and 40% from the 3-point line as well. He's gotten to the free throw line 7 attempts and 11 attempts in both contests so far this season against this specific opponent. And he's over the 21.5 in 3 of his last 4 games and 5 of his last 7 games. So I would be looking at Norman Powell. On the road, he's averaging 25.5 points as well. Now, we got to take it with a grain of salt because Tyler Hero is back now. But 21.5 feels manageable for Norman Powell. I think the minutes will be there. He's performed well on the road. He's over in 5 of his 8 games, averaging 25.5 points. If we look at the games so far this season where he has I should pull this up on the screen so you guys can see it, but I don't feel like it. If we look at the games where Tyler Hero has played so far this season, it's only been 3. Norman Powell's averaged 23 points in those games. The first one he stayed under against the Bucks, and they blow the Bucks out. Why he stay under against the Bucks? He just shot the ball pretty poorly. 4 for 11 from the field, 0 for 5 from the 3-point line, 29 minutes. But against the Detroit Pistons and the Clippers, 28 and 30. So yeah, I would be looking at Norman Powell to go over his points. I like that look, Brian. I like that look a lot. What up, B-Hop? Says Heat money line. Miami and Orlando have identical win-loss records. Probably why the line's so close. Lowe says this is the same Heat team that lost to the Kings at home. Did y'all forget? Orlando money line. Yeah, I was talking about this yesterday, Lowe. I think every team that is playing a cup game lost their previous game. And it could be all look ahead or didn't cover their previous game, right? We talked about that yesterday with the Spurs because they got the game tomorrow against the Lakers. They didn't cover. We talked about that with Orlando. They didn't cover against the Knicks. Of course, the Knicks covered. Toronto didn't cover. They just lost to Toronto. They just lost to Boston. So I think you got to take that with a grain of salt. I do think you got to take that with a grain of salt. Mark says he played under. Jay Carter says I like under. I think it's supposed to be 235.5. So a lot of love for the under. I like the Magic more without Franz at this money line price. Miami's been playing a little suspect since Hero got back. I kind of agree with that, dude, too, Carter. That's why I'm going to stay up the side. Mark says lean Miami, but under is the only play for me. Go Who says I played under 234.5 last night. It's actually going back up. It's 235.5 on BetMGM right now. But yeah, I think you're on the right side, though. G421 says, what's up, Chris? I'm on Miami plus 2.5. Got the early number. Like it. DJ says we parlaying tonight. Heat money line under 234.5. Bam 10 boards and Paulo 15 points at plus 602. We're saturated at. There go your parlay right there. Vario says like the look. I want to learn more about over unders instead of the size. I've been getting tore up, man. Trust me, you don't really want to play too many unders this early in the season, but they be cashing sometimes. They do be cashing. It's really all about who gonna make shots and who gonna miss shots. Mitchell been going over his assists. G421 says. Prolific says, light it up, people. 82 people, only 8 likes. 8 likes? That's crazy. That's crazy. Gusto says, my bad. I dropped the like. I be forgetting. Appreciate you, Gusto. What's up, Zach? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. I think we did a pretty good job here. I like under 235.5 is available on a few books. It does look like I saw something light up on the screen. Yeah, 235.5 is consensus. You can get 235.5 pretty much everywhere if you want to rock with the total, which I think that's what I'm gonna bet today. I haven't bet it yet. 236 is available on Fanatics, but they limited me. So yeah, 235.5 is the best number, and it's widely available. BetMGM, DraftKings. DraftKings got the best number right now, minus 108, so a little bit less juice. All right, let's go to the next one. The Knickerbockers will be in Toronto taking on this Toronto Raptors team. So we start with the injury report here. And this spread actually went the other way. So I had it open in one of these tabs. Matter of fact, it's right here. I got it. All right, so this spread actually is, so it's 2.5. Open Knicks 2.5 is up to 4.5. Looks like 5 is available on Fanatics as well. And the total has come down, open 232, down to 226.5, 227. Just depends on where you're shopping. So we start with the injury report, which is crucial in this game. On the Knicks side of things, there's no Miles McBride, which in my opinion is pretty big because there's also no Landry Shamet. And Karl-Anthony Towns listed as questionable after missing the game on Sunday against the Orlando Magic, and they still were able to get the job done in the double revenge spot. Toronto have Shed listed as questionable. There's no RJ Barrett for I think like the 5th or 6th straight game, and man, I think that's humongous. I don't really want Toronto. If I'm just being honest, I don't really want Toronto without RJ Barrett. They look like a shell of themselves. Toronto has not been great recently. 2-8 against the number in their last 10 games. They're 8-5 straight up at the crib, but they've covered just 4 of their 13 games at home so far this season as well. They really struggle, especially against top tier teams. Lost to Charlotte, 5th game in 7-night spot. Then they, have a day of rest. They get Boston coming in. They can't stop Boston from knocking down threes. Boston shoots the ball very efficiently, end up winning the game, covering the spread. Toronto's offense runs out of gas. On the Knicks side of things, though, you got to pump the brakes. Not that easy to lay 5 points with the Knicks on the road, especially in a big high time, like cup game like this. The Knicks have not done well on the road. 3-6 straight up, and 2-7 against the spread in their 9 games on the road so far this season. So neither one of these teams have been really, really covering lately. Carl-Anthony Towns did go through practice yesterday for what that's worth. Maybe he's a little bit more listed as probable than questionable. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to speculate with the injury report. I do think that, if he plays, that makes the Knicks a lot better. One thing that you want to know, right? I'm going to give you guys the sauce in this one. If we look at the Knicks, matter of fact, no, I'm not going to bring it up, but I'm going to go through my spreadsheet. So if I look at the Knicks offense, and the Toronto Raptors offense. So first, one thing I will show you guys, I'll show you guys this, and I'm not sponsored by these people, but I think it's important to know. So we go over to Clean the Glass, no link in the description because they don't pay me, but it's a very useful site, right? If we go here, I clicked on teams, which is here. We go down here, we click Toronto, we let it load, and then we start pulling up these numbers with RJ Barrett on and off the floor, right? I just told you guys I don't really want them without RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett is here. So we look at the Toronto Raptors, we can see that they're plus 4.1 on the season. That number disappeared real quick. But with RJ Barrett on the floor, they're plus 2.7. RJ Barrett off the floor, you can see their offensive and defensive numbers, 118 offensive rating and a 115 defensive rating. This is with RJ on the floor. We take RJ off the floor, 118 and 115. Remember those numbers, plus 2.7. We take RJ off the floor, plus 5.3, 116 to 111. So the defense has gotten better. The total has come down in this game as well. And if Carl-Anthony Towns not going to play, then I think the under is potentially the right play in this game as well. Here's the thing with Toronto, man. And I said this before, we cashed the last time Toronto came to New York. Remember, they had lost to Charlotte they had lost to Charlotte in overtime, and we faded them immediately. But that game, of course, was in New York, and Carl-Anthony Towns was available for that one. Here's the thing, though, like if you want to beat the Knicks, one thing that you have to be able to do well is shoot the 3-point shot. Toronto is not a great 3-point shooting team, and I feel like I'm beating a dead drum. But that's just really what it is. Toronto, especially if Carl-Anthony Towns plays, like I don't think they're gonna be able to get that many points in the paint. The Toronto Raptors are a team that lives at the paint. They're 8th in rim frequency, 10th in paint frequency, and the New York Knicks are top 6 in opponent rim frequency, in opponent rim accuracy, and they're number 1 in points in the paint as far as frequency wise go. They don't give up a ton of points, and they don't allow you to shoot a lot of shots in the paint. Toronto's 25th in corner 3-point frequency, 24th in above the break 3-point frequency, 26th in overall 3-point frequency. And the reason why that's problematic is because the Knicks are a bottom 5 3-point defense, a bottom 3 3-point defense. That's from corner 3, above the break 3, all threes. So quickly over his 3-point prop makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, in this game. Toronto is at a detriment, in my opinion, here. If the Knicks really want to win this game and cover the spread, I think they absolutely can. Last 5 game numbers all favor the Knicks as well. They're 6th in points scored, 2nd in opponent points scored, 3rd in offensive rating, 9th in defensive rating, 3rd in effective field goal percentage. They're playing at the 2nd slowest pace. In Toronto, last 5 games, 28th in points scored, 28th in points per game, 20th in points allowed per game, 27th in offensive rating, 24th in defensive rating, 27th in effective field goal percentage. 27th in efficiency differential, 19th in pace as well, and they have played the 7th strongest strength of schedule, where the Knicks have played the 20th strength of schedule. So I guess all that to say, Knicks make sense. Do I want to lay 4.5 with them on the road? Not really, but I do think they can win the game and cover the number, just because I do expect Toronto's offense to struggle, even if their defense continues to play well, which they are the 6th best defense in the NBA recently, but 6th best defense in the NBA for the season. But I just gave you guys last 5 games, they're actually 24th. So that's my quick handicap on this one. As far as the side and the total goes, I think I would lean a little bit more towards the under. The pace in this game should be relatively slow, in my opinion. I just pulled the same screen back up. The pace of this game should be relatively slow, in my opinion. I think it'll be played a little bit slower, but the Knicks, probably trying to slow the pace. Toronto's offense has struggled recently as well. So I know the total is, not that appealing right now because it's already dropped 5 points, but 227.5, I think I would be betting under. And probably Knicks, man. Probably Knicks. It's hard to look at this game from a player prop perspective just because Karl Anthony Towns means a lot as far as rebounds, Mitchell Robinson rebounds, Josh Hart rebounds and assists, Jalen Brunson's usage, all of that stuff, in my opinion, has to be taken into consideration. Now, on the Toronto side of things, like I said, if you want to play a player prop on the Toronto side of things, we can just pull this up real quick too. I'll show you guys this, get into a quick recap. We'll jump off here. But gotta be looking at Quickly, right? Gotta be looking at Quickly over his 3-point prop. He, in my opinion, is the guy that's gonna shoot the most. And in my opinion, he's also probably the best 3-point shooter as well on his team. So Quickly, threes or 3-point makes, 2.5 is the number. Minus 132 on FanDuel. He's over in 6 of his last 10 games. You can see head-to-head when they played earlier this season, he hit 4 going back to the Garden. We also just look at his last 10 games. He's shooting 38%. You can see that. Getting up about 7 attempts per game as well. And then if we wanted to focus on the full season, we could come in here. We could go games without RJ Barrett, which gives him more of an offensive role. We can see that he's over in 4 of his 8 games. He's averaged right at 7 attempts per game as well. And let me just do some quick math for you guys. So quickly this season, when he shot at least 7 threes, when he's taken at least 7 threes, is over his 3-point prop in 10 of 15 games, 67%, averaging right at 3. He's over in 3 of his last 3 games as well, when he's gotten up at least 7 attempts. He did get up 10 attempts against this Knicks team. And like I said, the Knicks, they're bottom 4 in 3-point attempts allowed. Yeah, that would be my thought process. If I'm betting a player prop, it's Quickly up and over his 2.5 3-point makes. And I'm just give me the juice. I'll take the juice on this one. That's my thought process on this game. The Knicks, and I look towards Quickly just because I know for sure that their injury report is not going to change that much. I'm gonna hold off on writing the over on my short list as well, just because I want to see what happens with Karl Anthony Towns. I think Karl Anthony Towns can get ruled in and it still could go under. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking here. Let's see. Appreciate the reminder, Chris. Appreciate you, Malik. Appreciate you, man. Panamera Sports, appreciate you for tapping in. Saturated says, I don't mess with anything that's less than plus 2,000. Oh, man, that's degenerate level stuff right there, man. But I know you betting responsibly, Saturated, so it's all good, man. Bam might hit a few threes tonight. He's been shooting a 3 for sure. Front line says over 236.5 on Chalkboard and Fanatics. Okay. I want to take the Knicks, but I gotta know Cat playing. RJ Barrett, another one of them per dem NBA players, just taking his money. Brian says Knicks minus 4.5 without RJ. I agree. Offense loses a lot. The defense gets better though. Under 236, I agree with that. Gusto says lean Knicks, but I kind of like the over if the line stays under 230. DJ Prop says Knicks minus 4.5, under 225.5. Josh Hart, 8 boards. Bridges, 2 threes. OG, 2 threes, plus 864. That's the other thing, right? So I forgot it hasn't been it's been 2 games since OG Anunoby came back. That's humongous. OG is a lockdown defender. He's gonna make life hell for probably Brandon Ingram tonight. Then you're really relying a lot on Scotty Barnes, which Scotty Barnes has been good, man. I love Scotty Barnes' game. But real quick, let's just look at the numbers real quick with OG on the floor. So the Knicks are plus 9.1 on the full season. We know it's not as great on the road. Defensive rating of 114.5 with OG on the floor. They have a defensive rating of 107. We got to remember he's going back to Toronto as well. So 107 defensive rating with OG on the floor. OG is crazy. His defense is crazy. So 107 defensive rating there, plus 17 with OG on the floor. Without OG on the floor, 119 defensive rating. I think maybe 12-point move with OG defense. They're plus 3.9. So right at a plus 4 with OG on the floor and OG off the floor. And with OG on the floor, they're plus 17. That's crazy. Gusto says, I don't see why the Knicks don't hang up 120 off. Like, all right, so real quick to your point, right? Let's see why the Knicks don't score. Let's see why the Knicks don't cover on the road. So on the road this season, their offense falters, right? At home, they average 123 points. On the road, just 116. On the road, their defense at home, the defense gives up 109. On the road, they give up 117. So their defense takes a big step back on the road. Now, a lot of these games they didn't have OG in. I'd be interested to see road games with OG, and I don't really want to look that up right now, but I'll look it up later. Offensive efficiency at home, second. On the road, 10th. Defensive rating at home, 9th. Defensive rating on the road, 22nd. Efficiency differential, second at home. Efficiency differential on the road, 15th. Right? So pace stays about the same, 24 and 23. Home road. So there you go. That's why they probably don't, because they just don't score as much. Down says he'll go Raptors team total under 110. Who says Toronto might struggle to score? Maybe Toronto team total under. Knicks should play defense here. If the Knicks don't win with their offense, they will do with their defense. Now that OG is back, he should get stops. I agree with that. Revenge game for the Raps. I don't even know if Toronto. Let's see. I don't really buy into the revenge game every single situation. The Knicks have been really good in revenge games, but let's see what the Raptors have been in revenge games. Raptors are 2-1, straight up and against the number so far. Revenge games. They beat the Bucks in a bounce back spot, smoked them. Beat the 76ers in a bounce back spot. Won both of those games by 9 points. Then they lost to the Raptors. I'm sorry, they lost to the Hornets. Remember, the Hornets beat them in Charlotte in overtime, and then the Hornets just smoked them. But that was a fifth game in 7-night spot. So they have been better, I would say. Lightbearer says, I really appreciate your professionalism, bro. Your consistency is inspiring. Good luck to all your best, Chris. And chat, let's get it. Yeah, absolutely. Right back at you, Lightbearer. Appreciate you for sure. Smoke says he likes Brunson under. Bitsy says, what's up, Chris? Hit the like button, chat. Appreciate that. Frontline says, if Cat plays, what do you think about a 30-piece game for him? I would need to know, like, if he 100% or not. What was the injury for Cat? Cat injury was it a leg injury? I can't even remember. Let's see. And are his props listed? Yeah, it's a calf injury for Cat. Maybe they were just holding him out for this game here, though. I don't know. Let's see. Karl Anthony Towns listed at 22.5 against the Raptors earlier this season. Yeah, 22. Shot 8 for 15 from the field, 1 for 4 from the three-point line, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. In road games so far this season, Cat's only scored 30 once. I don't like it. But he gets a good matchup. Toronto's not a great perimeter defense. So maybe just a look over his threes. 1.5 is juice, minus 146 to the over. You may be able to get a better number. You can get a minus 138. I'll play Cat over his 2 threes. Yeah, he's gonna shoot a few of them, right? Let's see. He's averaging 5 attempts this season so far in road games. And he's hit the over in 3 of those games so far. 3 for 6 to the over, and should be shaded that way because Toronto is not the greatest spot-up defense. They are 26th in spot-up points allowed. So maybe a look towards Cat threes. I wouldn't play him for 30, though. Played Knicks -3, which was out on Saturday on FanDuel. I don't trust the Dinos down the stretch. They couldn't score down the stretch at the end of the last game against Boston. I was watching that one. We'll look for New York under a possession. That Toronto team total under does look good. What up, Hot TV Grit? Since I made it live, Chris still doing God's work. Nas is bringing hip hop back Friday. Shout out to Nas, man. Shout out to you too, Hot TV Grits. Brian says Toronto team total under. I was thinking about that as well. I don't think they get to 100. I like that too. The pace should be slow, man. Line should be 6.5. Bet the under and sleep comfortable. Both games, I think, could potentially go under today. G421 says, yo, Chris, could you check out Brunson going over his assists? Let's look at Brunson real quick. So I feel like last year, remember, Toronto was a really good team and limited assists. Brunson had 9 assists against Orlando in his last game. Toronto is top 10, so they're 9th, right inside the top 10 as far as assists allowed. I kind of feel like you need RJ in too, man. I do kind of feel like that. It looks like similar matchups versus their position. 3 of the 4 players that they play so far that matches Brunson's play type as far as pick and roll ball handler has gone over their assists against Toronto. Donovan Mitchell had 8 on a 5.5 line. Tyrese Maxey had 9 on a 6.5 line. Donovan Mitchell had 6 on a 6.5 line. That was the under. And then Tyrese Maxey, again, he finished with 7 on a 6.5 line. So Brunson assists is 6.5. I do think you want to wait like a little bit to see if Cat's going to play. That's my thought process. It is shaded towards the under -144 as far as juice goes. So you can get plus money. You can get a plus 108 on FanDuel. Brunson gets a lot of his assists above the break 3. About a third of them come from the above the break 3. Toronto does okay defending that shot zone. I don't really know how comfortable I feel with playing Brunson without knowing the status of Karl-Anthony Towns, I guess is what I should say. So I don't really have too many strong opinions on that one, G421. What up, Justin? Appreciate you for tapping in. Since you're going to rewind. Bitsy says, what up, Justin, Mark, Chris? Been a minute. Life been lifing. That's a fact. Life always lifing, man. What's up, Joe? Hope all is well with you. Says, what's up, Chris? Bad night. Ready for a comeback. This is an 0-1 night for me too, man. I understand it. Brian says, Chris, you see the rookie center for the Pelicans get a triple-double, 30 points yesterday. Where did he come from? Yeah, man. Shout out to Derek Queen, man. I'm watching the game last night because I had Stephon Castle over his assist prop. So I'm watching the game. And, I said something yesterday on the show that I probably should have waited to say, which was, the Pelicans offense struggling, which it did struggle. They did struggle. However, when you got Luke Cornett out there at center, oh, man, barbecue chicken, man. He was killing Luke Cornett last night. If Wemby plays, it's a totally different story, which Wemby's supposed to be back in the game tomorrow against the Lakers. But it was chopped food last night, man. He was killing them, hitting them with every move you could think of. I like Derek Queen's game, man. Once he get in the weight room, and slim down a little bit, I think he's going to be even better. I don't like the shot that he took to win the game. He shoots 9% from the three-point line or 10 or 11% from three-point line. Can't run a play for him to shoot a 3 at the end of the game, especially when you're down by 1. That's just the Pelicans wanting to lose, though. But he played really, really well. Derek Queen's nice, man. He got that Zach Randolph type game. He reminded me a lot of Zebo. He put you on the block. He actually, looked for his teammates as well. He's a pretty good rebounder. He plays hard. I like Derek Queen a lot. All right, let's get out of here, man. Quickly now questionable? Really? Hold on. If quickly questionable, that total is going to continue to drop, and I definitely think we got to look towards the under. I didn't see that. Let's see. Is it on my phone? Yep. Quickly downgraded to questionable. Man, that might be them just trying to get more money on the Knicks for real. I don't play none of this stuff. If you're a member of the chat, you know that if you're a member of my chat, when I send out plays, I typically send them out about 7 o'clock, about 6 minutes before the game. I'm staring at my computer there and I'm looking at the eye screen. I'm looking at all that. But yeah, man, NBA is tough to bet right now, man. It's really tough to bet. Let's see. Is the total going down? I bet it is. 227.5 was available. Them joints gone. 226.5 on Caesars right now is the best number. The under starting to take a little bit of steam on 235.5 between Miami and Orlando too. And that's what I like the most. So I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and lock in, man. I do appreciate you guys for all tapping in though. I do. That's it, man. Let's get into the recap. So going back to the top, I like under Miami and Orlando. I would play under. 235.5 is available on. It is dropping. I got to get in. BetMGM. Let's see. BetMGM still got it. I just watched DraftKings drop from 235.5 down to 234.5. So I'm gonna play under, and we'll see what happens with quickly. Downgraded to illness. I don't like it, but we shall see. We also, in my opinion, you got to wait on the Karl Anthony Towns news. He means enough, in my opinion, to to want to wait on that news. But yeah, I'm locking in 235.5 right now. Yeah, I'm locking in 235.5 right now. Best of luck, man. Whatever it is that you guys are looking at today, man. Resources all here. Check them out. Pinned in the description of the video. Yeah, check them all out. Catch you guys tomorrow. 2 more games tomorrow. Cup. We'll probably get back to probably not super early in the morning, but we'll get back to a little bit earlier videos as well. Yeah, enjoy your Tuesday, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one.